Love who you love, be who you are. That's really what this is about.
Pride. A time to celebrate love, progress, acceptance, and living your truth.
Pride means a lot to me. It means self-expression, being creative, being who you are.
Celebrate what you've been able to accomplish, and you look forward to what you still need to do.
We've come a long way, but the fight for equal rights is far from over.
Pride is very important because there are a lot of us that did live ashamed of who we were.
Pride matters.
Everyone should be able to be themselves.
Pride means equality for all folks.
Happy Pride Month.
Thanks for joining me. I'm Allison Seymour, and it's time to get uplifted. And we want to highlight a very special group in our community that's inspiring us to celebrate what makes us, us.
Pride is all about being who you are and not feeling any sort of reservation about living into who you are as a person.
Pride means a lot to me. It means self-expression, being creative, being who you are, just having a good time.
Nationwide, the LGBTQIA plus community has faced many obstacles, and this includes overcoming the challenge to step out and be who you want to be, as well as being accepted from your peers. The Kennedy Center also canceled many events earlier this year under new guidance from President Donald Trump. Now, these hardships, they're heartbreaking, but despite that, we have seen many of our neighbors still standing tall, wearing their crowns.
We're not going to let people steal our joy.
Many of you are continuing to show support. And some of you may have noticed more local businesses and homes in our area proudly showing off their pride flags right now. Well, of course, that's because June is Pride Month. And right now, we are in the midst of the iconic pride celebration known as World Pride. It's sort of like the Olympics, but for the LGBTQIA plus community and its allies. And it happens every couple of years, and different cities across the world take turns hosting the big event. DC leaders found out that we were getting to host the event in 2023 during World Pride in Sydney, Australia. Nearly 2 years later, the time has come.
We have all of our diversity of pride events, which include Black Pride and Trans Pride, Latinx Pride, Youth Pride, Women's Pride, Military Pride. So something for everybody will be happening.
The star-studded festival started on May 23rd in the district, and it runs through June 8th. It's already brought some of your favorite artists and performers right here to the DMV, but more are expected to join in on the fun. And this year's festival is even more special because it is the 50th anniversary of DC's Capitol Pride celebration. So in this episode of Get Uplifted, we will make sure that you know what Pride events are coming up, but we really want to hone in and talk about the impact of these individuals and the community in hopes of highlighting just how special the community truly is. So why does pride matter? You might not know that answer right away, and that's okay. We hope by the end of this episode, we have inspired you to come up with your answer. So in order to do that, we are starting this episode by showing you how people at DC's Pride Festival back in 2022 responded to that very question. Take a listen.
What pride means to me is a celebration of happiness.
I think the most important thing that I can say is that after 41 years of being together with my wife, we were able to get married in 2011. And I hope the future will be better.
What pride means to me is freedom, and love is love. Having everybody be accepted, no matter what color or creed or anything. Pride is about love.
I get to be myself and not have to hide who I am.
Pride matters to me because it's all about representation, diversity, and inclusion, and everybody matters.
Everyone deserves to live in a place where they feel like they're included and not excluded. Everyone deserves to feel like they're at home in this world. Pride matters because human rights always matter.
Joining us now to talk more about why pride matters is local drag performer Ani So Exotic. And this Desi drag diva has performed at many bars and clubs in our area for the past 2.5 years, including the Sinners and Saints in Northwest DC, as well as in Baltimore, Richmond, New York, Chicago, and Boston. Ani, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor.
Well, first of all, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay. So 2.5 years, is that your start in drag. Can you tell us about the journey?
So I started in drag 2.5 years ago in DC. It was Slay Them pageant in Red Bear Brewing Company in, I think it's in Northeast.
Okay.
And it was really fun, and it got me really excited to continue my journey in drag.
Yeah.
And I love drag so much.
What do you hope that when people come to see your shows, or just the message from having the freedom to express yourself in this beautiful way?
I think everybody should kind of hopefully be inspired by me to be themselves, regardless of what that looks like, whether that means getting in this type of outfit or just wearing whatever you want. It's really important to always be authentic to yourself, and I hope I can inspire people to do that.
It's not always easy, right?
No, never.
Never.
No.
Okay. So, what would your advice be, I guess, to somebody watching, a young person like yourself that really feels like this is who they are and this is their expression, but just hasn't found the courage to sort of go for their dreams yet?
I would say try to really imagine what it is that you want in yourself, like who you want to be, and figure out the little steps that you can take to achieve that every day. So in drag, I think of it as like you're becoming the image of something you imagined. Like I don't look like this out of drag. So I imagined this and I made myself come true. So you just like you can make any dream come true.
You know, it's like when we see, the word that comes to my mind is joy, it's happiness, it's freedom of expression. But is there an activism point to this too, or like a social statement too? Because it just always seems to be there is something else that you're trying to say just by trying to be who you are.
Yeah, 100%. We live in a world where people don't necessarily want us to be who we are. And especially as a South Asian drag queen, there aren't many of us in the whole nation. And I think it's really important to show people that you can be any ethnicity, any race, and you can still do drag. You can still be who you are.
Yeah, and talk about that a little bit. You specialize in like Bollywood dance, right? So how did that come about, and why did you decide to express yourself in this way?
So I'm South Asian, and I feel like for me, drag was a huge way to get reconnected to my heritage, because my family isn't super into all the stuff that's like Bollywood and you know, those type of things. But since I started drag, I was like, hey, this is really cool. I should explore this more. And I really got into it, and here we are today.
Now, I just have to ask, because I'm looking at your beat, and you look amazing.
Thank you.
How? So you started 2.5 years ago. How do you even like hop in? Did you have a community that helped you realize the way that you wanted to look and the way that you wanted to dress?
So for me, I definitely had like 1 or 2 inspirations, which is really not as many as most other people who do drag have, just because there's so few South Asian drag queens. So honestly, I really had to kind of form all of my inspiration and figure out who I wanted to be a lot by myself. And it was a very powerful journey, and I'm really glad that I got to go through it.
I love that. So looking at yourself, as a little boy, what would you kind of tell yourself now? And did you always know that you had this talent within you?
I think I always knew I had some talent within me, maybe not this one because I didn't know what this was yet. But I would tell that young version of myself, maybe don't worry about what other people say about you. Just be who you are, and that will inspire more than enough people for it to feel worthwhile.
I love that. And the Desi drag diva, so Desi, can you explain what that is?
So Desi means someone from the subcontinent of South Asia. So that's like Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal. I think that's all the countries. Yeah, so anyone from those countries is a Desi person.
I love it. And before we let you go, where can we come and see you? Do you have any performances coming up?
Yes, on June 5th, I will be performing at Sinners and Saints in Northwest DC, and that's at 10 p.m., and it's an all South Asian cast. So I'm really excited for that show.
Okay, this is Ani So Exotic. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Of course.
And
Thank
happy
you for having
Pride.
me. Yes, happy Pride.
Yes, all right. Well, before we tell you what Pride events are coming up, besides where you can go and see Ani, we do want to go back to October when DC celebrated one of its longest Pride traditions. Of course, we're talking about the annual high heel race. And you just heard it, hundreds of people cheering on the hundreds of people walking and running the streets of Northwest DC near DuPont Circle wearing none other than high heels. This year marked the district's 37th high heel race. Deborah Alfarone has a look at who came out during the race way back in 2017.
So who would you be?
I'm the real Barbara Comstock.
I'm the real Comstock.
The real Barbara Comstock. I am the real Barbara Comstock.
I'm the real Barbara Comstock. Why is it important to be here tonight?
It is a really fun night, good, clean fun, and it shows that we care about each other.
There's no racism, there's just people and love and culture, and I love it. And that's what we need.
Your feet must hurt.
These are fine, I feel okay. I think it's fantastic that people bring their families and get to see us parade up and down looking like this.
4th place last year, going for 1st this year. I practice. I'm going to take everyone down. That's the goal.
In the end, a runner named Sue Pository won. But our friend Persia Bay says, better luck next year.
4th place is mine. I'll take it. 4th place.
Forget the anger, hug somebody and feel that love and let it spread, baby.
DC's High Heel Race is just one of the many events the district hosts to support the LGBTQIA+ community. Others include, of course, the iconic Capitol Pride Parade, and that's when thousands of people fill the streets, decked out in their colorful outfits, cheering on everybody in attendance.
I finally came out when I was a teenager, and it's really nice to have family, friends, and everyone in the public supporting just who you are.
I love that so much. People supporting people. And we stopped by last year's parade to find out how else the annual event is making an impact. Take a look.
I finally came out when I was a teenager, and it's really nice to have family, friends, and everyone in the public supporting just who you are. Was not what happened when we were younger, so I'm glad that's happening now. I literally have cried twice today.
Everyone deserves to be loved. Everyone deserves the chance in this world to just experience that connection. Absolutely. Rainbows, we saw a rainbow in the sky. The energy was just already right today. It was just wonderful.
I love the parents and the grandparents and the family supporting people. Little babies like handing out and giving us high fives is awesome.
Happy Pride! To be here and gay for WUSA.
Our teams also stopped by the parade in 2022, just 2 years after celebrations were scaled back because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And during that time, we spoke to a mother about the importance of showing up to the parade for her child.
Do you worry about what society thinks or your kid's happiness?
Something to think about for the parents out there for sure. That's a mom who is totally in support of her children. Now, before we move on, I do want to introduce you to a person that's not from our area, but has spent many years attending our area's Pride Parade. This is Floridian drag performer and former Marine Chad Phillips, and this is his alter ego, Alexandria Childs, and he was crowned Miss Capitol Pride a couple of years ago.
It's just really hot, so, you know, it takes a lot of pads and a lot of tights and a lot of makeup to make all this go away.
Now, Phillips is one of hundreds who routinely travel back to the district each year for Capitol Pride. Many say they do this because of our area's overall support for the LGBTQIA+ community.
I think DC is the center of the free world. This is where everybody looks for the direction of the country. And it's one of the most welcoming cities for the LGBTQ+ community.
If you are hoping to be a part of the action, this year's Pride Parade is happening on Saturday, June 7th at 1 p.m. on 14th Street and T Street. And the parade goes through many of DC's traditional LGBTQIA+ neighborhoods, including Logan Circle, Shaw, Penn Quarter, and through historic sites like Freedom Plaza. But a heads up, this year's parade and all of the area's Pride events will likely be more packed than normal. That's because the district is celebrating its 50th Pride anniversary, and DC, of course, is hosting World Pride. To mark this special occasion, artists including Shakira, David Archuleta, Jennifer Lopez, Paris Hilton, and Troye Sivan, and Wicked star Cynthia Erivo will perform at stages throughout the festival. And we know those performances likely will have a wicked big impact on you. Wicked, Cynthia Riva, okay. During the event, they can help pump you up, and then afterwards, they can help remind you to just keep being who you are. So we want to take the next few minutes to show you what unexpected person was impacted by one of our past Pride performers. Now, here's a hint. She also played Elphaba in Broadway's musical Wicked between 2003 and 2005. That's Idina Menzel, who performed at WeHo, West Hollywood's Pride in Los Angeles back in 2023 before coming to our area and performing at the Capitol Pride concert. Our Larry Miller spoke with Menzel about her getting ready to come to the district and the impact her performance in Los Angeles had on her son.
I forced him to come to that show. He wanted to have a friend sleep over, and I felt like this was a new side of mommy that I wanted him to see, and I also wanted him to go and be a part of Pride. And so he came up to me after and he hugged me and he said it was really emotional. And he also let other people see that he was hugging me. Wow. So that was nice because I can't even sing in my house without him telling me like, Mom, come on, you're embarrassing me.
Now, we want to highlight a Pride event that many of you are proud to have participated in. Global Events Management Company for the LGBTQIA+ community, Exec Events, hosted Posh DC World Pride at Next Level in Northeast DC. That was on May 25th. The celebration raised money for the nonprofit Rainbow Railroad, whose goal is to help LGBTQIA+ individuals escape persecution and violence around the world. About 800 people attended that event. And joining us now to talk more about that event and the impact it made is Kay Keith, editor-in-chief of Gay Magazine, a media partner for Exec Events. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, Allison.
Tell us first about the magazine, the publication, and how this partnership came about.
Absolutely. So Gay Magazine, I pride ourselves on covering everything Black and LGBT. We educate, entertain, and empower, hence that E in our name.
Okay.
And it's really symbolic of what we represent as a community. I consider us the hub of Black gay culture, and it's never really been seen in a way that we present it on both social media and online. Right. The entire LGBTQ experience is told through our lens.
Okay.
And so I'm happy to be able to cultivate that. With Exec Events, the owner, Jay, he hit me up probably about 2 years ago, and I was invited to one of his events. And when I say Exec Events, their posh parties are always elevated. And something about Gay Magazine is I want to make sure that we're elevating our community. And so going to the party, I want to make sure that all Black LGBTQ people have an elevated experience, even in clubs.
Right.
And we don't get that all of the time. And so our media partnership came about. They told me, hey, we're going on tour. And I said, I would love to join you. And so nationwide, this is I think their third stop in this series that they have.
Right.
And then he told me that they were doing a partnership with Rainbow Railroad. I said, even better, because now we have something we can give back to, especially about, what's going on in the world right now. Not only can we have fun, we're doing it for a great cause.
I want to talk about the event, and because I know it was wonderful.
Yes.
I love that 800 people showed up to support the cause. But let's circle back to being Black and gay.
Yes.
The difference. Why is there a difference with why the distinction, I guess?
Yes.
I know the answer. I want you to tell everybody the answer. Why this community within a community really needs to have the attention put on them as well.
Yes, I would say the first thing is that our culture is very, very unique. It's something that you really can't just make up. It's like we have our own vernacular, we have our own way of dress, how we dance, how we move, how we speak, and it has to be told through our lens. And oftentimes when it comes to television, film, we don't get those opportunities.
Right.
And so when you think about Black LGBT culture, it has to be told in a specific way for it to feel authentic. Otherwise, you're not touching the community. And so with Gay Magazine, because I'm a Black gay man, because almost everyone on my staff is of the Black LGBTQ experience, we are able to tell those stories, hence why right now we are the most followed
Right.
publication, Black LGBT publication on Instagram. We amassed such a great following because of that, and we just kept it authentic from the start.
At that word, authentic.
Yes.
Okay, that's what this allows you to do. Okay.
Absolutely.
Got that totally. That was. Let me talk about this event though.
Yeah.
That's so powerful. The reasoning behind it. Can you just talk about the importance of the event itself?
Yes. So with all of the events that's going on, I think what's important that Exec Events does, that word elevation for me, you know, is because when you step out into a club, we don't always get that experience as our culture sometimes, and there's a myriad of reasons why that could be. But when you step in, you want to feel appreciated. You want to know that security is there for you. They know how to you know, managing something that happens. You also want to feel good. You want to have the music that's playing match what you usually listen to. And so all of that brings the experience together. And then to find out that Rainbow Railroad is a partner in all of this, is that you're not only coming out and having a good time, but you know that you're helping your peers, you're helping the community. Right now, there's so many people being displaced all across the world, and they want to come to America, and they see us as a home. And so to be able to help and assist in that, I think that's, you know, worthwhile.
You talk in the introduction here about violence faced by some people, persecution.
Yes.
That's real.
Yes,
Can you
very.
speak to that?
Yes, you know, it's something that I constantly get inundated about. You know, as an editor, I see it all the time. It's something that unfortunately I feel I can get a little numb to because, and I'm sure you can relate as a journalist, is that we see it all the time. And so I think it's important to make sure that people see it, you know, but there is still a level of integrity that I keep when it comes to telling those stories, because oftentimes they can be told in a way that could seem degrading, and they may not paint the entire picture of what's actually happening. And so that's why it's important for people like us to tell those stories and give the full picture, so that, because there's a lot of nuance in that, you know?
Before we let you go, any events coming up? I know you're busy during this time here in DC. What can you tell us about where we should be?
Yes, so you should definitely be in DC for World Pride, that's for sure. I'm happy to announce that we kicked off World Pride as the official media partner for DC Black Pride. We just kicked off that, and it was amazing. I would say you want to hit up the festivals. Doechii is going to be performing, Khalid is going to be performing, Cynthia Erivo, of course, and I'm hoping I can get those interviews as well. But that's where you should be. I would say this summer, Posh is having their first international event in PVR. And PVR is a very welcoming and open space for LGBTQ people. And so that's why that was the first international destination that they selected. So if you haven't got your tickets for, you know, PVR, make sure you're there. But yeah, I just want people to stay tuned, follow Gay Magazine, and you can, you know, stay in the loop.
And okay, this is Kay Keith. He is the editor-in-chief of Gay Magazine. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Well, a bookstore houses the origin story of the Capitol Pride Parade. We're going to show you how this idea transformed from one to the cultural phenomenon that you see today. Coming up. Welcome back in. We want to highlight a couple of places in our area that are supporting the LGBTQIA+ community. First, we're talking about a pop-up bar in Alexandria that spent part of last year around the time of Pride Month catering to the community. Our Matthew Torres stopped by Pride on the Avenue to show you how the bar was making strides within the community.
If it's not the owner giving a warm greeting,
welcome to Pride on the Avenue.
It's the bright neon lights, gallery walls, and rainbows that say you belong.
We love it that we can show that everybody's welcome in our restaurants, and this is a way to showcase that.
Delray's Pride on the Avenue is now the only bar catering to the LGBTQ+ community in the city of Alexandria. It's a pop-up concept by Homegrown Restaurant Group to fill this space on Mount Vernon Avenue for the next 2 months.
If there's one thing we've noticed in our first week of being open, is that there's definitely a market for this.
Although temporary, local and state officials are celebrating. The restaurant group plans to donate $500 a week to the nonprofit Equality Nova.
At a time when so many cities and states across the country are seeing a surge in anti-gay and anti-trans laws. It's important that places like Alexandria really stand up for our values of inclusion, and having a pop-up bar that's pride themed right here in the heart of our city in Delray is incredibly meaningful.
Kirk McPike, the only openly gay council member of Alexandria, welcomes a permanent business for the LGBTQ+ community. The Human Rights Campaign's Municipal Equality Index, which measures how inclusive a city's laws and policies are, gave Alexandria a 100% score.
Inclusion and diversity are core values of the city of Alexandria, and we are always going to be looking for opportunities to build on that.
Walk light is on to cross King Street.
That includes having the city's first permanent Pride crosswalk outside City Hall painted just 2 weeks ago.
Pride is not going to just be contained to June in Alexandria. It's going to be something that we celebrate all year round.
A city signaling a more inclusive and colorful chapter. Matthew Torres, WUSA 9.
Now we are highlighting a bar in Northwest DC that's been a pillar in the LGBTQIA+ community since the 80s. JR's Bar regularly hosts drag performances. Here's a video of some of those shows, and they also host watch parties on Friday nights to watch the latest RuPaul Drag Race episode. And yes, I am all caught up. Joining us now to dive deeper into the impact that this establishment makes in the community is JR's General Manager, Eli Downs. Hello.
Hi.
I'm happy to have you here. And
Thank
events, you're also the events manager and drag queen matriarch, Citrine the Queen.
That's me.
Looking beautiful.
Thank you. So are you.
You have to share that now. So I feel so underdressed. Okay, but anyway, I'll just keep it moving. Can you tell us just about a little bit about the history? Any establishment since the 80s staying open is just quite the feat. Can you tell us about JR?
Well, we feel very lucky. We opened in 1986 in historic DuPont area.
Yes.
And we've been going around, we've been servicing the community since the 80s. It's been about 40 years almost. Next year we're celebrating our 40-year anniversary, and we're super excited and super proud to still be around as one of the oldest gay establishments in DC still.
Has it changed over the years as far as just any of it, the perception from people who are not necessarily in the community? You know, what's it been like over these years, these decades?
I mean, it's been a crazy ride over the years of JR's. It's had its ups and downs, but we still love that we're able to service our neighborhood and still be in the historic LGBTQ+ area.
Right.
And be a part of the community. We're very grateful that we can still be a pillar and still be that friendly neighborhood bar that anyone is welcome, that anyone can come in, have a strong drink, and enjoy themselves.
I love it. All right. Citrine, tell me just about the experience when you just come in. I'm just looking at, I need to know like the primer that you use and all that good stuff. But after that, tell us about JR's and the experience when you come in.
Of course. So it's certainly a welcoming experience. I wouldn't be there doing what I do otherwise. It has otherwise become a second home to me, and much like Eli was already saying, for the decades that it's been now, not only myself and other drag performers, but anyone in the community, as soon as they step in those doors, it really does feel sometimes even a first home for some people, not even necessarily a second home. We've seen the same people, the same faces, and even new faces that come through, and always welcoming, always inviting. So, yeah.
Why is a safe space so important?
I was gonna say, if you want to talk, go ahead.
Sure. Having a safe space is important very much for that reason. I think home is something that I think all of us, to our human experience, can relate to, and something that all of us want to be able to say that we have. And sometimes, given circumstance and the lives that we're given and born into, might not be ideal, for lack of a better term. And so to be able to have a space like JR's to call home is important. So that's why for us working there to create that and foster that environment for anybody that walks in to be able to feel like they have a place that they can call that is why it's so important to have these safe spaces.
You know, JR's, it's become a cornerstone in the community. How does that make you feel, and what's the impact?
I'm just so proud, honestly, that I get to carry on the legacy of JR's. And anytime someone comes in and they're like, I remember when we first opened, and hearing the stories of back in the day, how we were one of the first gay bars to have windows, so you could see in from the street. And so that was very scandalous at the time. Of a lot of people didn't want to go there because what if my boss sees me and I could get fired? And so to see that kind of changed over the years, and to still be around, it's just an honor, honestly.
Right. And let me ask that question, and that tough question. How much has it changed? Are we more accepting as a community, would you think, as a whole?
Well, during these tough times right now, it's kind of, there's a lot of negativity out there right now. And so creating these communities and coming together is really important. And so with Pride events coming up and everything, and World Pride, it's really a moment for us to kind of stand up and say, we're here, we're not going anywhere, we are loved, we are positivity, and your negativity is not going to affect us.
I love that. I love that so much. Before we let you go, what are the events, or, you know, I know that maybe JR's is going to be doing something for World Pride, because World Pride is here now, which is incredible. What are the events coming up, or anything that you can tell us about?
Of course, so we have a big community event called the 17th Street Block Party. It encompasses all of the businesses, restaurants, bars that exist within 17th Street. And of course, naturally, JR's is a big part of it, given that we're right at the center. And the Block Party is just a big event for everybody to come, dance, celebrate, support the businesses that are there. And with JR's involvement, of course, our doors will be open. Come in, grab a drink, enjoy the music that we'll have. And right outside, in the intersection in front of JR's, we're going to have a big outdoor stage for live performances, entertainment, DJs. So it's just a big time for us to dance in the sun and be together, not only with the community that we know and love, but from people all over the world.
This is going to be so much fun.
It'll be a Friday from 5 to 10, and then Saturday from 12 to 10 as well. So the 7th and 8th. And we partnered with Capital Pride with it.
6 and 7.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. 6 and 7. But we partnered with Capital Pride for it, and they've really grown it into this big community event, and it's helped us out so much. So it's a great event.
Anything we need to know before we come? Do you need to, I mean, because I know space is going to probably be limited, right? But it's the Block Party.
It is it is a free event, rain or shine.
Bring sunscreen.
Yes,
you'll be outside. It's if you want to feel the DC community, it's the best way to feel it. Honestly.
I love it.
Yes.
All right. Okay, Eli, Citrine, thank you so much for being here, and happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Thank you. Okay. Next, we want to highlight another place in our community that serves as an iconic gathering place for the gay community for about 40 years. Evan Kosloff shows you the spot that helped lay the groundwork for DC's Pride scene.
This was us.
For Deacon McCubbin and his husband Jim Bennett, this is a special place.
I have some wonderful memories.
It's the former site of Lambda Rising, an LGBT bookstore, which McCubbin founded in 1974.
The bookstore met my life, basically, for 35 years.
Right away, it became an iconic gathering place for the gay community.
On a Saturday, right after we opened, there was a guy who came into the store, stood in the middle of the store, and just kind of did a 360 all the way around looking at the wall. And then he sighed and he said, "Home at last."
And it was here, outside of this iconic bookstore, where we can find the origins of the Capitol Pride Parade. You see, some 6 years after the Stonewall riots in New York triggered a new wave of activism nationwide, McCubbin decided to plan a community block party in the district right on 20th Street, outside his shop, set for June 15th, 1975.
On the day that it actually happened, it was supposed to begin at 2 o'clock, and about 10 minutes to 2, there was almost nobody on the street. And those of us who were organizing it were sweating because we thought, nobody's going to come. And I said, don't worry, they're going to come. They're all on gay time. They'll be here. And sure enough, at 2 o'clock, we had 2,000 people on the street.
And here's one of the few photos from that event of McCubbin taking the stage to speak. And from there, the crowds only grew. Here's what it looked like in 1977, the earliest video of the event that we could find in our archives. It brought even larger crowds and even politicians. By the early 1980s, McCubbin says there were more than 10,000 people in attendance, and it went far beyond just 20th Street.
It mattered because it was public, number one, because it was a chance to celebrate how far we had come to that point, but also to look forward.
And the celebration of today has exploded into a massive citywide event.
And it serves the same purpose today that it did in '75.
And one thing that I noticed about Deacon and Jim is that they laugh a lot, even when they're talking about really hard times. At their store, they've had shattered windows, assaults, discrimination. Deacon has been arrested 8 times for civil disobedience. But they say it was worth it for all the joy that has come out of being true to who you are, and they urge the next generation to keep this fight alive. For WSA 9, I'm Evan Kosloff.
That is a powerful message. And last, we are showing you a group of athletes who is supporting one another on and off the field. These are members of DC's Gay Flag Football League, also known as DCGFFL.
I've always loved football, played some in high school, but, dropped the sport because I think in part kind of being in the closet and not really feeling comfortable and welcome. So this is an opportunity for all of us who have been in a similar situation or who never started, right, because they didn't feel comfortable, to enjoy the game, because there's something intrinsic about the game that's so fun, so exciting, and we can play too, right?
Well, the group has a Sunday league, a rec league, and a travel program, which sends up to 5 travel teams to compete nationally around the country. Back in 2022, when we last reported on the group, they had 300 players and had only lost 1 game between 2019 to 2022. And did you know former Georgetown football quarterback and Syracuse tight end Cam McPherson was part of that league back in 2022? No word if he still is, but you could be too. The league says they accept everyone, no matter your sexuality. For more on how you can join, just visit the group's Instagram page. Their handle is DCGFFL. Well, we want to end this episode by coming full circle and reminding you why Pride matters. Here are some more responses from DC's Pride Festival in 2022.
I would not have found myself if I didn't see other people display their pride, so that's why it matters to me.
Pride is for we the people, and we the people are all of us.
This is our yearly reminder that we are not going anywhere. We have always been here, and you cannot take us down without a fight.
Pride to me is like freedom to be like joyfully and like beautifully myself.
It's just a celebration of like recognizing that I can be different, but I can like be sameness in that there's sameness in my difference. Like I've never been surrounded by so many queer people in my life, and it's just really, really heartwarming to like be with people who care about me and like who celebrate who I am instead of being like, oh yeah, like that's like a little afterthought.
Personally, having gay moms is the best thing to ever happen to me, and get yourself some gay moms. Yes.
Smile, dance, sing, but know when you come away from this, you remember the crowd that you saw and the feeling that you had, which was that God loves you and that you are part of something wonderful.
Pride matters because self-expression matters. If you and your friends can't be yourself, how are you going to know who's the real you? Be who you want to be in life and be someone that other people can love.
Events like this, it make me very emotional to see how far we've come, and to see my daughter pave the way and to be able to support her is really amazing.
I love being gay. I love what DC Pride is doing for people, because I came up here this weekend and it has just made all the difference. It's liberated me. So thank you, DC Pride. Thank you, WUSA. I appreciate y'all. Happy Pride.
So why does Pride matter to you? You can send me your answer by emailing me at getuplifted@WUSA9.com or by reaching out to me on my social media pages. You can get your daily dose of Get Uplifted every morning at 5 on Get Up DC. And you can also find these stories on our website and our YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. Stay uplifted.